Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Mars unaspected in a natal horoscope. Now, if someone has any unaspected planet in their natal chart, and it doesn't happen frequently, but if someone does, obviously this is very distinct and unique, and a person can often have very, I guess you could say, fluctuations connected with that planet's energy, and could show a lot of unrestrained, uninhibited energy associated with that planet 1 minute, and then the next minute they might go kind of stagnant. And with Mars, this could be very blatant and very obvious because Mars is associated with action and energy, and it's aggressive energy. This could be somebody that might be able to do exorbitant physical feats, somebody that might engage strongly in vigorous competition and be very good at it. This could be a person that can show a lot of energy, a lot of endurance at one moment, but at the same time may go stagnant the next. So you could have some extreme fluctuation and vacillation as far as Mars unaspected in a natal horoscope. This could be a person that just has a lot of, I guess you could say, a lot of energy, and not at least from time to time, because it can be very sporadic, but when that energy level is there, it could be very great and tremendous. And a lot of times this person may have this energy that's just kind of swirling around and may not know exactly what to do with it. So it can indicate maybe some restlessness in this person. This person may just have so much they might not, in some instances, may not really do much because they're trying to go, they're kind of just moving around and going here, going there, kind of like a person that can make a lot of noise, so to speak, at times, but may not always accomplish everything. It might be a person that may start a lot of projects, maybe even simultaneously at times, but may not finish many of them. So it's something to consider when someone has an unaspected Mars in their natal chart. Now, if Mars is something where you can, if it's strong by its sign, for example, say it's in Aries or Scorpio, it may have a little bit more, I guess you could say, it might modify this to some degree. You might have a little more consistent flow with it because it would be in a sign where it's home in Aries or Scorpio. Now let's say you had it, if somebody had Mars, say in say we put it like in Pisces or Gemini, you might have a little bit more energy that would be a little more indecisive and a little bit more ambivalent. And the fact that it would be unaspected, that could maybe exacerbate maybe the case a little, because with an unaspected Mars you're going to have some vacillation in connection with the person's aggressive energy. Now this could be a person as well that Mars also rules anger, and it's possible in some maybe isolated cases that this person may when having that anger level, the anger level at its optimal level may be very exceptionally high, and at the same time that level can go down and you might have fluctuations with it. So this person could be a person that might become maybe a little bit more acrimonious on average than the average person when you have when that energy, when that anger level really hits its threshold and peak. Now, a lot of this can depend on the sign and house placement that Mars is positioned in a natal horoscope. Now with me, I have Mars in the 3rd house in Cancer. Now by itself, Mars in Cancer in the 3rd house, this could be somebody that could be somebody that defends their family very strongly and with a lot of courage and and fortitude and will stand up for their family members, and being in the third house may do it in a very outspoken way and sometimes even be combative in connection with communications. But if I don't have it unaspected, but if I did have it unaspected, well, that could be something where the combative situations, for example, might even at their, I guess you could say, when the anger hits that optimal level, so to speak, if it was unleashed, it would be maybe even stronger at that point, and it would be more inconsistent, sporadic energy in terms of the energy going into, I guess you could say, in the third house matters connected with communications and being, and as far as perhaps I guess you could say the combativeness in connection with communications, it wouldn't be, it would, at its optimal level, it could be stronger than on average if somebody didn't have that that sign, that Mars in Cancer in the third house, if they had it aspected. But if they had it unaspected, it would be at a very stronger level when that anger, I guess you could say, really reached its boiling point, and it would be somebody that would obviously could really in communications can really become angry, and somebody that might really maybe go maybe a little bit overboard in terms of maybe standing up or being like this so-called like a troubadour of a family defender, and may take it to maybe a further level. So that's something to consider. And if somebody has, let's take another example, let's say that somebody had Mars in Aries in the 7th house unaspected. Well, by itself, and if it wasn't unaspected and it had aspects to it, this could obviously be somebody that could be show a lot of strong aggressive energy in connection with their partner, in partnerships, could be even in business partners, even platonic relationships, or even possibly romantic ones. And it could be also somebody that might have contentious or combative situations in connection with partners. It could be somebody that might be a formidable adversary in a courtroom, for example, because the 7th house is connected with legalities. But if somebody had Mars in this Mars and Aries in the 7th house unaspected, this could be somebody where that energy might actually go to another level and be somebody that would really be really exceptionally strong in terms of legal matters, and in perhaps in connection with you could say open adversaries, and I guess you could say in partnerships. But you would have a fluctuation with that energy. At the same time, you would have that energy go from high to low, and there might be times where this person is in terms of perhaps you could say legal battles, if they're involved in it, if applicable, where they might kind of go stagnant for a while, but when they really get into it again and they start the battle again, then they show all this courage and fortitude, and a lot of people might wonder, well, where was this before? So you'd have some vacillation with that energy. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Mars unaspected in a natal chart, and stay tuned next time where I'll be dissertating and talking about Jupiter unaspected in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel, and secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.